There we go.
I managed to catch a guy who you've heard from before for our On the Water Anarchy report from Port Huron for the Bayview, Pure Michigan Mackinac race. Frankie, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good, Clean.
Mr. Chairman, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
From what I look at the harbor here, there are maybe 60, 70 boats in, and then it's really calm out there. What do you think of the conditions for this year's race?
Well, they got a little bit of everything this race.
Sure.
They got the fog, they got the storms, they got the rain, they got the
Downwind,
wind,
upwind.
they got the no wind. Trying to find their way to the mark, that was fun for a lot of them. I was told by the people that sailed on my boat they did 40 sail changes.
That's on Corinthia on the 120.
Yeah, that's even a lot for a Mackinac race.
So your boat sailed and did pretty well, hey?
Yeah, they won.
They won. Where do they sit overall?
I believe 11th, but they're first in class.
All right.
And it was kind of the one thrill for me is that I got to see them finish. I was on Mission Point doing chairman duties, and unfortunately I couldn't come down to greet them at the dock right away, but it was real cool to see them win.
A little bittersweet, or no? You've won enough of these.
No, you know what? You never win enough. So, anybody out there, I think the price of my boat just went up 10 grand. So, because it can be won without me too. So,
well, listen, man. I just got here, obviously, and noticing the festive occasion amongst the big boat sailors, because it really was a big boat race. I mean, it's shut down out there.
Yeah,
and there are 120 odd boats floating around right now.
Something like that, and I'm not sure if you panned out there, but there's flat water out there, and they're going very, very slow.
There's flat water, and there are boats as far as the eye can see, but they're just barely moving.
Yeah, and if it dies anymore with sunset, they will start going backwards because the predominant current is going easterly. So,
well, another question. You guys landed the big Pure Michigan sponsorship. They were working it hard with George Zimmerman from Pure Michigan, twittering from the other race, and really all sorts of extras, I think, media-wise on this race. A lot of people were able to follow along.
Yeah.
I know the trackers were loaded up because they were slow at times. That many people were watching them, even on a Sunday. Are the Pure Michigan guys happy? Are they?
Well, they haven't got in yet, so I haven't had a chance
so
to talk to them.
not that happy.
But the vice president of Pure Michigan did do the race on Eagle 1 with Commodore La Riviera, and he was doing on the water reports by satellite phone with WJR and WWJ for that matter.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool because now we have multiple stations. We did have some TV coverage, which we haven't had in a while, and I really believe that we are going to get some magazine coverage out of this. We've been really trying to tell our story to them because I think we're just such a great race for them not to cover. It is a great event. Clem, you got to admit, it is a great event. And
you show me the other magazine, the other news reporters that are out here covering. I know.
Well,
it's a great event.
Okay, and I think that's great. But it's multiple channels. You know that.
Absolutely.
But
that's what I'm saying. I know how great a race this is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that with, in the two races, a combined 700 odd boats or whatever it is. I'm surprised actually to see. Not to see more of the yachting press here, because you have the Sailing Magazine guys, but they're sort of local.
Yeah,
and where's everybody else?
Well, that's the thing. For instance, the Newport Bermuda race probably doesn't have many more boats than what we have, but obviously because of the heritage and it's an ocean race, it's closer to the East Coast, they just get better coverage.
Yeah.
We're in flyover country, and it's a little more tougher to get their attention, but gosh, how can you beat this? This is fresh water. I get wet, I can dry out in the sun, and I don't have to worry about my getting salt all over everything.
Not only that, but I can sail with my cell phone in my pocket.
Yeah.
Not a big deal,
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to go that far, but it's really cool. It's a wonderful place to get. It's probably a little cooler than the Gulf Stream, but outside of that, it's absolutely gorgeous here. And why wouldn't they want to do this?
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's another one. So you got. You had a nice increase this year of boats coming, in large part due to your outreach and your media presence, Facebook, all this kind of things. How do you pass the torch? How do you continue this momentum, having turned it around after declines for the last few years?
Well, I don't want to say it's an I thing because we had a lot of people contributing to different parts of this race, And one of the goals that I set, besides doing the racetracking, which I thought was very important, is I wanted it to make it racer friendly and people to become fans of the race. And there's a lot of things that we changed internally in the race to make it much more friendlier for the sailors. On top of that, because of the difficult economic situation, we made some cuts in some areas that needed to be done because the sponsorship really hasn't been as high as it was last year because the economy is just in the toilet right now. I think with the combination of all these things, it'd be a much healthier race in the long-term future. But as an example, next year's chairman, who's this year's vice chairman, he was our business manager.
Who's that?
Tom Burleson. He owns Sea Fever.
Sea Fever.
Yep.
CNC 34?
34.
Yeah.
And I put him in charge of financing. Nothing got purchased without his okay. And that way I could concentrate on probably some of the other things that need to be done and changes for the race. You may not have noticed, since you didn't do our race, we took a lot of the good features from the Chicago race for how the dockage is. We had a lot of problems in the past where it was carnage. We've been trying to emphasize the people working in the docks and handling the boats. These people are customers, and they are the first people that they meet that represents the race. It's very important that they have the right impression.
You know what? Having been an outspoken critic of one of the girls that greeted us a couple years ago, you're damn right. And after you've been out there for 40, 50, 60 hours, you want to see a smiling face, not someone yelling and screaming at you.
Well, I kept on saying, it's okay being firm because you have to...
Firm is fine.
Firm is fine, but I said, always say please and always be polite.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem, we can deal with it. Just take it up the chain of command, and we'll deal with it. But again, always being polite and always being firm. And if it's a reasonable request, we will do it. I mean, even something as simple as a particular person, I think walks around with a cane. He's a multi-hauler, and he went in registration. Our lady at registration said, do you have special needs so that we have to put you by a certain dock so you can get off your boat? And he didn't need it. But the thing is he was pretty impressed with that. And that's the kind of attitude that I want to see our race committee have.
All right, so customer service, outreach, media. Frankie's put it all together to run a great race, and it's been really fun to watch from my house, from the start and from the finish. So we're going to hang out for another day and really enjoy what Mackinac's got to offer. And congratulations, man. You did a great job.
Thanks.
We look forward to Mr. Burleson carrying on next year.
I think he'll do a fantastic job. He's a smart guy, good personality. He gets it. He's been racing probably as long as I have. And tomorrow actually will be fun handing out the awards. That is actually the fun part of the race for me is, I've been up there and I know how good it feels to get that flag for something that you've really accomplished. And I'm really glad to be able to pass that on to somebody.
All right, well, we'll be there to watch it, Frank. So thanks again.
All right.